Hello and welcome to From My Basement in Tulsa. I'm Jason Ferguson and I'm here with Sarah Dickenson and Conor Robb, here to tell us about Tulsa Psych Fest, which I'm excited about it. Hello, you guys. How are you doing?
We're good.
Fantastic.
Good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome. Absolutely. So tell me what Psych Fest is, because I'm excited for it.
Man, it's pretty much a mini music festival. It's one night at the Yeti. Starts at 5 p.m. and goes until close, which is 2 a.m. here. And it's $5. And we have bands coming from Austin, Carlsbad, California, Fayetteville, Oklahoma City, and Dallas.
Austin as well, yeah.
Did I say? That was the first thing I said.
All over the place.
Yeah,
though.
pretty much all over the place. And then it's about half touring bands, half local bands from Tulsa. So
It starts at 5, but it's on what day?
it's on Saturday, June 28th.
Yeah, cool. I played at Yeti last weekend, I think. And it's the first time I played there. I've been there a few times, but it was a really super cool place to play.
Yeah.
And especially I was thinking about Psych Fest already then, and it has 2 stages and a bunch of goofy stuff on the walls. It's going to be fun, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect venue, definitely.
And a lot of the wall art is by the same guy who did our flyer,
Greg Stivers, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of paintings up in Yeti, and he did our flyer for Tulsa Psych Fest, and he also has been playing with Moonshine for a little bit, so he's a good guy.
That's real cool. I stared at the art for a while.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy my friend telling me about being really drunk and scraping off some of the art with his knee because he decided it'd be a good idea to jump the fence. He jumped the fence onto Sound Pony's freezer.
Right.
And now every time I see that fence, I'm like, you silly dude. Come on.
Destroyed part of it.
It's Jimmy Adams. He's probably going to hear this. Jimmy, I told you a story. Sorry, dude.
Awesome.
I've seen a lot of people get damaged by that fence.
I can imagine for sure. Actually, I don't know if it was a Yeti yet, but the first time I played that stage, I think it was still Crystal Pistol back then, but Access Entertainment did like a green room party.
Right.
And I think by the end of the night, like the stage was falling over because everybody was just like stumbling on and drunk. And I think part of the
Was that the
stage
outdoor
fell.
stage?
This was the indoor stage.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think it was higher, but I think they lowered the stage. Whoever's taking care of it now is taking way better care
Yeah,
of that bar.
definitely. Yeti is a
But-
huge improvement.
But I do like it a lot.
Yeah.
And I accidentally perfectly timed a cheer or I timed the end of a song with a cheer for the Thunder game. So it's like I'm learning. It's like, oh yeah. I was singing out a note and I was going to go for a while, but then I saw the cheer starting to happen from the back of the room. I was like, I'm going to end now. Woo! Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, Thunder, way to be.
And the crowd goes wild.
And like everybody knew that's what I was doing because I started laughing so hard.
It's so funny when bands play there during Thunder games because they just have a great crowd that's just super rowdy, and it's like, are they cheering for the band or the game?
Of course they are. The band, always.
Both.
Nobody's looking. They're just cheering because they love you.
Exactly.
So how about you, Connor? Tell me about what you're up to. I hope I'm right when I say the doll drums.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
good.
Dull Drums. We're working on still finishing our second studio album. And then aside from that, like Mike has Augie Reed Studios going on. And I'm working as well as like trying to get bands together to record just something about capturing music that I've always loved. Even from being a little kid and everything, having being able to record cassettes off the radio and everything. But aside from that, working on that album and trying to get other bands together to get going and recording. So
That's cool. How
Yeah.
cool. Well, and in your band, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm in a band called Moonshine. We play
name-
rock and roll.
it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And Psych Fest I was talking to, maybe his name is Jared at Yeti. Or Jonathan. I was talking to
definitely
Jonathan.
yeah.
And he was talking about how it's psychedelic rock bands. It's not like
Definitely. And it's definitely more psychedelic rock. But every band that's playing definitely has kind of a psychedelic influence.
Twist.
Twist,
And everybody
yeah.
has rock and roll in
I
their
mean,
blood,
it's not
so.
straight up just all psychedelic bands the entire time, just being drony and weird. It's
Yeah.
definitely more rock and roll based, but we have psychedelic light shows for both stages, so that'll definitely help the
Yeah.
the psychedelic influence of it. But
The vibes, man.
The vibe, yeah, the psychedelic
All about
vibe.
the
So,
I actually just saw that a psychedelic band I love called Fly Golden Eagle got announced at Center Universe Festival. I know we're not talking about that right now, but I just saw it and I'm really excited about it. They opened for Alabama Shakes here, I think.
oh, okay, right.
And I
on.
was like, I'm just really excited about that.
I've never heard them.
It started to go out of nowhere, but I'm kind of excited about
Yeah,
that.
that's awesome.
But sooner is Psych Fest, which is going to be just as fun as any festival.
Oh yeah, should be a great night.
Actually, I read the write-up for No Cover Tulsa.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no way, this is insane. So I'm glad you guys are here. Thanks for coming to tell me.
Definitely. Yeah,
and
Thank you.
We got a No Cover, and I think there's a thing coming out in Tulsa Voice at the end of the month about it, and we're doing this. And then there was another, it was actually a Oklahoma City publication, hit us up about it, and so they're called OKC.net. They do like 365 things to do in Oklahoma. So this is our fourth kind of interview about it.
Good.
Still as nerve-wracking as ever.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll edit out the nerves.
Yeah. Good.
If only that was possible. I think the more we laugh, the more it goes away.
Pretty much.
I was scrolling through the Facebook the other day.
Yeah.
And I was just scrolling through pictures, and I noticed a pier that I remembered. And it was you posted it from Oceanside.
From Oceanside.
And I was like, no way, is that... Tell me about Oceanside. How are you related?
Oh,
You
man.
Moving there, lived there.
Pretty much I went on, I used to play in a band called Dead Shakes. They're still playing around, and you should definitely check them out.
Okay.
We went on tour last summer for a few weeks, and the first time I had ever seen the ocean was in Oceanside, California. So that was awesome. We kind of had a beach day there, and then we got back to Tulsa, and I ended up moving out there for a few months. Just kind of went wild and was like, I'm moving to California. And I moved to Oceanside, and I love it there. I met a lot of great people, and I'm going to be going back there in a few weeks, pretty much right after Tulsa Psych Fest. So, yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is my friends, Able Allies, moved to Oceanside last year. So I got to visit them while we were up on tour, and that's a super nice place. And they're all like, I think I saw them 6 or 7 months after they moved there, and they were totally California people. By the time I got there, like Bobby was riding a skateboard in like short shorts and no shoes or shirt, just cruising through. I was like, man, he's adapted.
Were they talking about highways and stuff? Like, oh, just take the 405 down to the...
Oh, I didn't drive at all. So
Okay.
somebody was like, Jason, you want to drive through LA? And I was like, no.
Oh, no, never.
Seemed like everybody wants to give you directions out there.
Oh, yeah. They love giving directions. They love talking about their highways and what the quickest way to get to point A to point B is. And it's kind of funny.
Oh, I wish you luck moving there. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And are you moving too? Not yet?
Yes.
Good.
The truth comes out.
It comes out.
Oh,
when you're in
you
love
This
with
is actually a
somebody.
secret.
Oh, well, I can tell everybody. Don't worry.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Well, cool. Tell me about some of the bands. Are you friends with them? Or?
And Tulsa Psych Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much just bands that we have met over the years, both of us.
I love that.
Playing in, different states and stuff. And we pretty much started this whole thing as an excuse to get all of our friends from around the country together for one big awesome show. And it just kind of turned into a little mini music festival. But we've played with all of the bands playing. They're all great. It was awesome because we kind of just got to pick and choose like the best bands possible, and I think it should be a great time. And we wanted to kind of, I had a band out there in Oceanside called Swift Beats, and I kind of wanted to throw a show for them that was worth driving across the country for.
Yeah.
So they're making the long 22-hour drive or something like that to come out, and they're super excited to play Tulsa. They've never been in Oklahoma. So.
Oh boy, they're in for a treat.
Oh yeah. It's going to be wild.
I actually listened to one of the bands today. I think it was Loch Ness Mobsters. I listened while I was at work, so I couldn't really remember what they were saying, but I did enjoy it. I listened to whatever album was on Spotify, and I really liked them. What do you guys know about those guys?
Well, the first time I met the Loch Ness Mobsters, we played a show at Sound Pony, and Taylor, their guitar player, had lost his ID partying the night before in Denver with the band.
Happens, man.
Yeah, they're from the same town as this band, St. Charles, Louisiana. This band's called Dirty Few, and they were out there partying. Lost his ID and had to play the whole show out on the sidewalk. And they were playing great music, and I absolutely loved it. And the next time I was down in Austin, I happened to notice on Facebook that they were playing a show with the Christian Band and the Revelators down there from the Black Angels. And so I was like, yeah, let's go out and check it out. So I went down there with Mark and everybody, and it was a great time. They're a fantastic live band. They're super tight, and they're getting to be one of the top Austin bands right now.
Yeah.
I'm really proud.
Oh, I'm excited to see them all.
Yeah, they're a great band.
What's another band playing?
The Swift Beats, they're making the long trek all the way from Carlsbad, California. They're a great band. I actually met those guys when I was on tour last year. They were in a band called Dead Cats. They were the first band I ever saw in California, first band we played with. And when I moved out there to Oceanside, it just happened that they lived like 5 minutes from us. So I kind of hit them up and was like, hey, man, I'm new in these parts. Like, you want to start a band? You're the only musicians I know out here. And it ended up being really awesome because they're super talented, great songwriters. But I've kept in touch with them, and we kind of just, like I said earlier, this was an excuse for putting on a great show that was worth driving across the country for. But yeah, Swift Beats, they're awesome. Who else?
We got Pagans from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and they just got back from a national tour, released a record. They're moving around. I think it's a beautiful thing to see a band with 2 drummers. They can pull it together.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That can pull it off. Yeah.
Pull it off, yeah.
Definitely.
And just the energy they have and the stamina that they have. I've seen, we were lucky enough to go out there and play with them a while back in Fayetteville, and just the stamina that they had. They just kept going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
They have a cool. I love George's in Fayetteville. Have you guys been there? George's
haven't.
Majestic Lounge. Mm-mm. It's like a 2-stage. It's probably the size of Cane's. I don't know. I've been kind of inebriated every time I've been in there, but it's really cool. and like, but I remember it being awesome. A band I love, Jackson Waters, played the last show there, and I went. And one of my friends has the most hilarious story of the drunkest I've ever been, because I was like so sad that band was breaking up and it was their last show.
Well, let's hear it.
It's somebody else's story. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I know. I broke a plastic, or like one of those lawn chairs, the plastic, crappy lawn chairs in the back, and being like so sad that I ruined the show. But I was like way back behind the venue, and it didn't matter. Nobody saw me. I was like, oh, I ruined the show. That's all. But when they ran my card, they spelled Fayetteville instead of F-A-Y. They spelled it F-A-G-E-T. V-I-L-L-A. And I was like, that's the most hilarious, sad, terrible thing. But it did happen. I wish I had a picture.
That's hilarious.
I remember looking at my bank statement. That's where I saw it. I was like, there's no way that's real. So I checked the next day. I was like, George's, you're crazy. Sorry, that had nothing to do with the band. But I'm glad that band's coming to Tulsa.
Yeah, definitely.
I like seeing out-of-town bands come and have like a really great time in Tulsa. Because I've seen some bands come and have a horrible time.
Yeah,
we have
definitely.
Really bad. And I was like, oh, I'm so sad. Tulsa's so awesome most of the time. So I'm hoping Psych Fest is one of those times that's awesome.
Definitely. And that's why we've been, really pushing it so hard, is we want these guys coming from out of town and driving from all over to have a really good show. Because, then they'll go back to their city and say, hey, go to Tulsa because it's awesome.
Yeah, keep sending good bands this way.
Exactly.
The worst time, I think, it ended up being really awesome, actually. But a guy named Joe Brooks came to town, and somebody called me the night before. He was playing acoustic, and with Mike Maines, they're a really good band too. Mike Maines and the Branches. But somebody called me the night before and said, hey, can you open the show acoustic? We just need somebody from here to open. So I went to the Eclipse, and I drove up kind of running late a little bit because I play music. And
musicians.
And I get there, and there's like a long line, like more people than I've ever seen at the Eclipse, like standing outside. And I guess whoever booked the venue forgot to book the venue. Whoever booked the show didn't tell the venue they had a show that day. So all these touring bands showed up with like,
oh no,
maybe, I don't know, 60 or 70 pre-sales.
That's awful.
Without a venue. Yeah.
Oh.
But luckily, I think it's Manic Pixie Art Studio next door. It was like, we went over and asked them, and they were like, hey, can we do an acoustic show here? And so we just all the bands brought out their acoustics, and somebody went and bought cheese and wine, and we hung out for the night and just played acoustic songs, and it was one of the most beautiful things. Like, and I think he had been like playing somewhere crazy the night before. I remember he talked about being best friends with Colby Calais, and I was real mad about it. I was like, you could call Colby Calais
right now.
I need your phone, dude.
Get her to sing Bubbly.
Yeah. I just need to say hi.
Hi,
and
Colby.
Colby.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that show ended up awesome. The point is, I like bands coming here and having just a ridiculously great time.
Right.
And I think the Yeti's going to be great that night.
I think so too.
If you guys are listening and don't know, Yeti is right next door to Cane's. And
it's 417 North Main Street.
Yeah, and it's really, really cool. They have my approval, I guess, if that matters.
Yeah, definitely,
but,
man.
I liked it. I had a good time. The sound guy was cool and told me some stuff about how to fix my podcast. I was like, dude, I'm getting this fuzz and I can't fix it.
Was that Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was like,
right on.
He was like, try this. And I was like, dude, you rock.
Kevin's great.
I was like, come over, come fix it. And he's like, you're about to play here. And I was,
Everyone at Yeti is so awesome. Jonathan is the bomb. Sam and Mika, even the door guy, Dwight, he's just such a character. And like everyone at Yeti is awesome. So it should be a great time. I couldn't think of a better bar staff. Like, honestly, it's like our Cheers. It's our home bar.
I basically only said Cane's to talk about the chairs I bought yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this place is right next door to Cane's. And yesterday they were selling a bunch of their stuff.
I saw
and,
that.
I missed
and
that.
there was a bunch of stuff that I could afford, but I had no idea what it was. It's like this box. It's electronic. It's $25. I didn't know what it was. It had a plug in and then out. And I was like,
well,
all right. But they had the chairs. They called them the original Cane's chairs, which I don't know.
which is what we're sitting on
Which
now,
what we're now
right?
sitting in.
Awesome.
I spent all my money on the original Cane's chairs. So now all the
Super cool.
podcasts will be recorded in them. I don't know what
awesome.
year it was, but I found a bunch of old pictures, and these were in the pictures when the Cane's was still called Cane's Dance Academy. Like,
Wow.
these chairs were on the side,
Oh,
and I was
really?
like, yeah.
Dang. Yeah, dude, these are super old then.
And there's some gum under your chair over here, and I'm
Is
pretty
it chewable?
It's
1960s gum.
I'm assuming it's Bob Will's gum. It couldn't be anybody
It
else.
has to be. We'll get it DNA tested and
No,
we'll
see if
sell
it's
it on
Elton
eBay.
Chamblin.
I mean, who else would it be?
Could be Eldon Chamblin.
Certainly, Sid Vicious was another one I assumed.
Mhm. Oh yeah, he would totally be the type to stick his gum under a chair too.
Yeah.
Kerry King of Slayer.
It could have been.
Man, who Pantera?
Did they play Cane's? Maybe.
Yeah,
Good.
dude. My dad always tells a story about how he took my mom to see Pantera way back in the day. I'm pretty sure I
Romantic.
wasn't born. Yeah, right. How romantic.
taking you to a show.
If she's into it, then certainly it's
Phil,
romantic.
I think it was Phil is the lead singer. I think that's his name, or it was at that point, and he was making all the sound guy or all the security guards leave. He was like, "Don't touch my fans! Like, get out of here!" So all the security guards walk off, just like flipping them off, and all these people just rush the stage. And my mom's freaking out. She's like, "This is scary! Get me out of here!" My dad's like, "This is awesome!"
So torn.
Yeah.
Like, if I was like, oh yeah, stick up for the fans, even though the Cane's security to me has been really nice.
Oh, well, yeah.
But but there's some dudes I hear that like, well, this is obviously not the guys that are working there now,
Right.
So never mind.
Yeah,
So maybe back then they were total assholes. But I was like, oh yeah, get the security out if they're bothering the fans. But then the fans totally did exactly what the security was there to stop. That, like,
Exactly.
sucks.
And then the band's like, "Oh, well,
maybe we shouldn't have
maybe we
pissed
shouldn't
off
have
the
pissed."
security.
Yeah.
Oops.
Now we don't have any.
Well, yeah, what a great story.
Yeah. Man, we should talk about Melephant really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Melephant and Etherwave.
Yeah. Melephant is a band from Austin, another up and coming, becoming one of the most popular bands in Austin, it seems like. And they also run a light company called Etherwave. And Melephant will be playing at Psych Fest, and Etherwave will be doing our psychedelic light shows. And they
also did the
They
all the
did-
lighting for the tent stage at Austin Psych Fest down
yeah.
there for bands like who all played out there?
Oh man, Of Montreal was in the tent. AV Terror Slasher Flicks.
Boningen.
Boningen.
Boningen. I don't know. How to say that.
Yeah, but they did some
Brown Sabbath.
Brown Sabbath. That band was funny. But yeah, they did light shows at Austin Psych Fest, which is a huge deal to us that they're coming to do our thing.
Were you there? Were you guys at Austin Psych
Yeah.
Fest? Was it a great time?
Oh man,
Beautiful thing.
it's always a great time. I mean, this was my first year going, and it blew my mind. I was like, I just want to live here in the festival forever. It's so awesome.
Until like the 6th day when you need a shower.
Right, and it's super hot. It was so dusty too. That was the worst part about it.
I was
Everyone had
blowing my
bandanas
nose,
on.
and it was just black.
Everyone looked like bandits walking around. Like everyone just had scarves around their head. It was so dusty, but that's Texas for you, you know.
That was minimal for the good music, I assume.
Oh yeah.
The only festivals I've really been to are Oklahoma festivals, Easter Island and Backwoods. I've been every year the past several years.
Yeah.
But
Both great
I've
times.
never ventured out into. I've never been to a Psych Fest.
Yeah,
so,
man.
And this month, the end, I will be there.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool that Austin Psych Fest started out in one bar, right? I think it was Emos.
We started off at one bar and just slowly grew from there. As when Emos was still on 6th Street and still really, really small, and now Emos is giant over there. I think it's on the east side of Austin. But
yeah, so hopefully next year, like it'll just grow and grow. But
Next year, Canes can be the side stage.
yeah. I mean, it would be awesome to like close off some streets and stuff and make it to where all ages can go, because that's one of the only downfalls. But oh well, no kids allowed. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, kids.
sorry.
21 and up.
21 and up.
Well, we can still be kids. We'll act like children.
Oh, we definitely are.
We will act like children. I've got that
yeah.
covered. I'm bringing one of these stinking Canes chairs and sitting in it.
Do it. You can't bring chairs.
I wanted to take one to work today. Like, haha, suckers.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Look at my original Canes chair.
And like, if I saw this chair like at a garage sale, just saw it, and it was like for $1, I'd be like, man, I'm so not wasting my money on that piece of crap.
But it's from Canes.
But it's from Canes, so I bought them all.
Do they all have these stickers on?
Yeah. Well, except for Connor's. I haven't put one on there yet. I put those stickers on there.
Okay, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Man, that sticker that's looking good for 100 years old.
Right?
It looks like it was put on just yesterday.
Yep.
Looks like something you would have stolen from that school in Norman.
Yeah. Man, I used to go to OU, and we would drive around and try to find like abandoned buildings and stuff. We found this abandoned school, and there's just all this stuff in there just piled up almost to the ceiling, and I got so many records, and I got a reel-to-reel.
Yeah,
I got a
quarter-inch
reel-to-reel.
2-track reel-to-reel for me.
Yeah, suitcases.
Had wasp nests in it.
Yeah, dirt dauber nests.
Crazy.
I had to clean that up. But yeah, it was such a cool place, such a cool find.
There's a school in this neighborhood that my girlfriend and I consider. She tells me we're going to go into one time. I'm always like, no, but one day I'm sure she'll talk me into it. We'll just go sneak in and explore this haunted school. It's probably been there 100 years.
I love places like that.
Do it.
Because this house was built, I think, in the 30s. I think this house was.
Oh, man.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is cool.
And I think
It's almost 100 years old.
before this house didn't have a room in it. Like the basement matched up with upstairs, and like the kitchen was down here in the laundry room. So I think I'm the first person to rent just the basement. So I safely assume nobody's died in here. That's
good.
Yeah.
No
very good.
ghosts. Yeah.
In my
A
last
little
house,
safer.
I'd wake up in the middle of the night sweating, feeling like somebody was pulling me into my bed.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
terrifying.
that would make that my last house as well.
That house
That
was
would be
crazy.
a place I previously lived.
And that's why we
Yeah.
called it the Hell Cactus.
Oh, is that the house
Did.
venue you ran?
Yeah.
That's cool. Was that here or was that?
It was just right off of 10th and Lewis, right across from Perry's Meat Market.
Man, I missed out.
Oh man, it was the coolest place ever. Growlers played there. I don't know if you've heard of them, but awesome. Night Beats, Growlers. So many bands played there, and bands you wouldn't expect to be playing in a basement. Like bands you would actually pay to go see that just happened to stop through.
And like the Growlers, like they play in Spain, they play in Europe, they play all over the place, and they came and played in our basement. And I was doing donations for them and like doing a keg fund for them, trying to get them the money to pay for them and everything. And then at the end of the night, I was trying to hand them an envelope, and they just kept giving it back to me and giving it back to me. And then like I finally just like climbed up into their bus and threw it on their windshield.
Take my money.
And then I woke up the next morning, it was slid underneath my bedroom floor. I could not pay them.
That's so awesome.
Well, that's cool of them. And especially being on the road.
Yeah. And
they were just down to party. They were excited to just play a little really small basement show.
Awesome cool thing about that is right after they were there, they recorded an album with Dan Auerbach and told him it was too clean and shot it down. So it was like, Black Keys, sorry.
Hell Cactus, yeah. Yeah, that was cool. And they had a like an old white church bus, and on the side they had painted, what was it, California Teen Boys Church Choir.
Church choir.
With a big cross on the side. It was hilarious. And they just parked it like at an angle in the front yard. Just like pulled up in the front yard and was like, we're here.
I'm super sad I missed your basement venue.
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, I mean, it sucked. The downfall was
we got robbed.
Yeah, they got robbed. It was a crazy night. There was like blood everywhere. Somebody had like busted out a window and was obviously just stupid and cut their hand open or something. There was full like bloody handprints everywhere, blood trailing around the house. So
no thanks.
So it was like, all right, moving out of here.
Between that and the ghost, I feel like I would have moved fairly quickly.
Yeah.
The ghosts were somewhat inspirational, though.
Okay, tell me more. Is there a Doldrums song about a ghost?
Well, there's just something about being scared that helps you write.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can relate, but I can imagine that would help me write.
Yeah.
Or like the fact that somebody's always listening. Like the ghost.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean.
Yeah. But I'm real sad I missed that venue. But I'm really pulling for Creative Room. Have you heard about that?
Yes, of course.
I didn't. I went to Creative Room once while they were open in Pearl District, and I was going to see my friends Outline and Color, and I got there early, and it was already sold out still. So I came back several hours later to watch them play, and they're like, "You can't get in," and I was like, "Well, crap, go Creative Room." But then all of a sudden, I don't know exactly what's happening, but I'm hoping it's opening and running well for them quick, because that's a really cool, especially so close to downtown, to have an all ages venue
exactly
in a nice spot of Tulsa.
And that's what Tulsa needs. Definitely is an all ages venue.
The funny thing about that place is the first time I heard of it, my friend Tommy Ball and his wife Talia Ball had art set up in there, and I had no idea. I walked into that room to go see her photography and his watercolor art, and I was like, man, this place would be great for shows. And then about a month later, just started seeing shows pop up, and started, I think it was Joe Myside I've been talking to. He does a lot of booking out there, but as far as I know. But
I tried to do a birthday show, but they were already booked, because, I don't plan in advance. Yeah. I was like, my birthday's tomorrow. I need to do a show.
Another musician thing. Like, oh, man, I should probably book this.
I'll get to it. Right now, YouTube. Actually, the first time I heard of Creative Room, I had shared like a button poetry video, which is, they just share awesome, like spoken word, emotional, amazing poetry. And I shared, it's like, where does this happen in Tulsa? This has to be happening in Tulsa. And somebody told me, Creative Room every Monday. And I was like, I'm going to go. I didn't. I should have. Maybe when they open back up, they'll have more.
Yeah, I hope they pull through for sure.
That's really cool.
They have a lot of people behind them.
Yeah, they definitely do. Everyone is pulling for them, it seems like. Our friends from the Fabulous Minx, who are also playing Tulsa Psych Fest, they just had they have a little record label called Midnight Creeper. And they just did a Creeper Fest, I think, over the past weekend at Creative Room, and it turned out really well. And they're actually sponsoring us a little bit, kind of like our merch section, and they're going to have a booth set up out there, so everyone should definitely check out Midnight Creeper.
That's cool.
They're really good guys.
I think they had a show. Creative Room had a show, like put on by Creative Room, but it's at a guy's house or a guy's building he's putting on. And I was kind of looking in case I had to move from this sweet basement. I was like, for a couple days, I was looking somewhere to get to quick, and somewhere that I would like, and somewhere I can afford. So it was like, I think it's Admiral and Peoria area over there. And the guy posted this Craigslist ad, and he was talking. It's like, oh, it's kind of a community, artist community living, and we got a backyard that's fenced in, and everybody hangs out, and everybody does all this stuff, and I kept reading. Cool. I read it at work, and I was like, I have to leave. I have to go see this place. So I made an appointment that day. It was all those things except for like the worst of it. It wasn't like bad people or anything, but it was like everybody has, like, he was talking about a community kitchen, and I was like, nobody's eating my ramen but me.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
too much of a commune.
Yeah, very much so, but it was a cool idea.
Definitely.
I think, but the point of that is I think he has a room in the bottom that used to be a shop that he's turning into a venue right there.
Oh, wow.
So he has all these cool, like, awesome ideas for it. So maybe in the next year there'll be a sweet venue there too, which is right off the highway, and a really cool building. He just needed more time to get it ready, and I wasn't about to move all my stuff into that place. Not just yet.
I just haven't seen a good all ages venue since the Monolith shut down way back when.
Yeah.
I've heard the name of the Monolith. I've probably been. Where was it?
It was on the east side of Admiral and Lewis. Yeah. And I mean, it was probably there for about a year and a half. And
2008,
2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Short lived, but
there's just certain shows that just don't feel right in a bar. Certain bands that come through, and I mean, though I like playing at bars, and when you have a show that's not at a bar, people are certainly like obviously coming for the music.
Exactly.
You're not going to get the crowd that's because there's sometimes people are coming for drinking, and that's cool, but sometimes I want to play music when it's just for
they couldn't care at all about the band. They're just there for a party.
Yeah.
Until you play that sweet cover song.
Right. Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's my favorite song.
Oh my God, I know this song.
Can you play this? I've never heard of that.
Hey, do you take requests? I hate. Oh man.
We're at Cane's, man. We don't do that.
That hasn't happened at Cane's. That would be silly though. This weekend I was playing at a wedding, and I was talking with like the DJs for the after party, and then like this couple not old guys but older guys, and they kept saying they have 8,000 songs, but people keep requesting songs they've never heard of. And like 8,000 songs, you think there'd be one you want to hear? And they're like, I can't. He's like, you're hip. Have you heard of? And like started naming off bands that there's no way I've even heard of them.
Oh man,
sounds like Alien.
And I was like, oh man, it went from 2 old guys talking about music. Now it's 3 because I'm one of those old guys talking about bands I've never heard of.
Yep.
And they're like, what about this Imagine Dragon bands? Yeah, I got one. I knew one of those bands. I got one.
Is that even a band?
I haven't seen them, but I think so.
I haven't seen them either.
Were we talking about the Yardbirds?
Yeah, the Yardbirds. Let's talk about some real bands. The Zombies.
Who we saw.
That's who they were talking about. The DJ was like
Austin Psych
Yardbirds
Fest.
and Zombies, and I was like, man, I haven't heard of those guys.
Oh my God. Get out of here.
I feel young
Okay,
again.
well.
Who's this DJ? I need him in my life. He's playing Psych Fest.
No, dude. Zombies.
Wait, that's a real band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the time of the season song?
It's the time
Oh.
of the season.
Man, I'm dumb. Of course I know that song.
When love runs.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, the Zombies, man. We saw them in Austin Psych Fest a couple months ago. It was really amazing. It's just awesome seeing a band that can say, yeah, this song came out in 1965. We're gonna play it for you now. It's like, yes,
all original members still.
Mm-hmm.
that's insane. That's really cool.
That's hard to pull off.
There's I don't remember. There was a band I loved for a long time. I didn't see them for a while, and they came to Tulsa, and I was like, oh heck yeah! So I wanted to see them. It's a pretty big venue, and I got there, and it was like the only original member was the singer, and they kept the same name, and I was like, oh no! And like there were older dudes, and like all the people they had hired to play with them were like 18 or 19-year-old kids doing backflips and stuff. You know?
Oh God!
Like this isn't the band I remember.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I think the only person that can really pull that off with like having much younger members is Paul McCartney.
Certainly.
Because those guys are great.
Party on stage.
Yeah. We got to see Paul McCartney last year, 2 nights in a row. It was awesome.
That'd be okay.
Mm-hmm. And it was funny because we were like, man, we can't afford it. There's no way. Then I went into work the day of the first show. The first night, my manager was like, man, I just bought my whole family tickets to see Paul McCartney tomorrow night for $5. And I was like,
excuse me?
What? Yeah.
StubHub.
So he's like, get on StubHub. They just released a bunch of tickets for like $5 to $20.
Yeah, I'll take the $20 ones, please.
Yeah.
All of
So
them.
we got him, well, I saw him both nights. You had to work, but we saw him the second night. It was great.
Granted, we were in the nosebleeds, but
Yeah, but it's still
it's in the same room.
You're in the same room with a Beatle.
that guy
That's
hung out
all
with
that
Jimi
matters.
Hendrix, man.
Yeah, he's like telling stories about hanging out with Jimi Hendrix and stuff, and it's just like, how am I seeing this right now in 2014? This or 2013? This is awesome.
Yeah, I think that would have been cool. Mm-hmm. The only show I've seen it be okay is Ozzy. That was.
Ozzy.
I think that's the only band I've seen there. I remember being super excited, like, oh my gosh, they're building the big center here.
Yeah.
And then all these bands come through. I'm like, oh, that ticket's.
Taylor Swift and
I mean, I would have seen Taylor Swift. I would have.
Red Tour, baby.
Yeah,
Yep.
and because the opening band on that tour is like one of my favorite bands. It's a band called Need to Breathe.
Oh.
I think she's been twice, but on one of the
Okay.
tours it was Need to Breathe.
Gotcha.
But all the tickets are like ridiculous to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like,
oh yeah.
Hundreds of dollars.
$200.
I'll see all these great pop artists on their way out in 20 years for $5.
Exactly.
It's gonna be the same act. It's
doing
cool.
the Vegas strip, doing cruises.
I thought it'd be cool to get a cruise job
Yeah.
playing. I was looked up being a musician because when my friends went as a bartender, and I was like, man, this looks cool. Just 6 months out on a boat, and you don't really spend any money. You're just making money the whole time. And I looked into it, and it's like you have to have a 300 song set list, and like I don't think you can ever say your name, and you just play. You play for 8 hours a day, and it's like a real job, just singing somebody else's songs. And I was
Brutal. There's no way.
there's no way I'm doing that until I learn those 300 songs.
I've heard horror stories
Right.
about doing that.
I feel like just once would be, I mean, I'd probably hate it, but it'd be a lot of money and I would
Yeah.
not hate that.
Exactly. At least you're doing something you like, even if it becomes hard work.
Yeah.
At least it's not.
if I sing for an hour and a half the next day, I can't
Oh.
really talk that much. So I can't imagine 6 or 7 hours every day.
Yeah, I used to play in a cover band with my dad, and we would do, the basic 3-hour set at a dive bar, 15 minutes in between. And by the end of that third set, I felt like I was just like singing with flames in my throat. It was just so brutal, so hard on the voice.
And then you go to bed and wake up and do the same thing again, except double. I
Yeah.
can't imagine.
Yeah.
So props to the cruise ship cover bands. You guys are tough. Keep singing, because I know they're all listening.
I feel like some psychedelic bands would be good for cruise ships because they could just like
Jam.
trip the whole time and just jam and get really droney and
The cruise ship would now
Before-
be a spaceship.
yeah. Before you knew it, 8 hours was over, and it was all 2 songs.
I think there was a comedian that talked about that. He's like, I don't know. He was talking about driving on mushrooms. He's like, I was driving a spaceship. So I don't want to take the spaceship thing from him. Don't remember who it was, but tell me something else about Psych Fest. Who are you most excited to see? And your bands are playing, right? Is Moonshine and Doldrums playing?
Doldrums are not. The drummer is out of town,
Oh, well.
which was a huge bummer, but
Bummer.
next time.
But you can play them, Sarah. It'll be fine.
Oh, me? I don't know about that.
The song's in 5/4.
It's going to be Meg White drums through the whole thing.
I started playing drums. That's like my first, well, I guess high school band. I played trumpet like a boss.
Oh,
but
nice.
like my first playing out music, I wanted to be a drummer really, really bad, but I sucked. And like it took me a while to realize it too. And that's not why I quit. I would have played forever. But a parking guard at the courthouse when I was a teenager, or like I was with somebody that was, I think my dad was paying a ticket or something like that. And he talked to me about playing music. I don't know if he played music or whatever, but obviously he did. He's like, think about this for a second. What is the drummer doing while the singer is out talking to all the girls and the guitarist is all out talking to the girls? The drummer's always breaking down his equipment for an hour after the show. I was like,
Yep.
I was like, dude, I'm gonna learn to sing.
Yep. There you go. All I gotta don't even have to bring your own mic.
I did for a while. I watched some commercial with, actually, there's a dude that I guess it was in the effects, moved to wherever they live, and he was in this commercial because that's why I saw it. Somebody's like, oh my gosh, maybe it's Joel or somebody who was in the Effects.
Oh,
But it's
the
like
Effects.
it was an Audix commercial, and it showed the Effects dude as like a grunge singer spitting and sliming into the microphone. And then the next day, some like sweet little girl comes up and sings in the same microphone, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's what really happens. That's real life." It was buy your own mic.
Now, did you used to play with them way back when?
The Effects?
Yeah.
No, I started.
No, not
Tulsa.
with them, but like shows with them.
I never did. I saw them like 1 or 2 times before they bounced out of here, but I never really knew them or anything.
Yeah.
Because I know I've been seeing your name around for a long time.
I may have been
too.
playing then.
Yeah.
But
Have you always been solo, or did you play in any? We're going to interview you now.
Oh, yeah. I have not always been solo, but mostly. Playing the past several years has been solo. And sometimes I'll have, for a while, I had a band called Jason Ferguson and the Bro Hiram, which was some of my best friends. And actually, the drummer of that band was like the original bass player of the Effects. So that's how I'm connected to them.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
I remember going to see those guys like Edge Fest years ago.
I don't know his name. Good Buddy Crockett.
Crockett.
But I don't know how long or whatever he was in the band. But all my friends knew him already. Like the first show we played together, like, oh my gosh, he was in the Effects. I love that guy. And I was like, you're here to see me, but
This is my band.
this is me. But
Plays for me.
I started acoustic. I also was in a couple hardcore bands, hardcore screamo, wannabe cool bands for a while, but we never really did anything. The band was Tomorrow's Not Forever, which is probably the coolest band name I've ever thought of that is spent now. Somebody has Tomorrow's Not Forever shirts out there, and it's gone.
Just keep the logo.
God.
It was actually just my friend, the bass player in that band, just went and made shirts, and then we never even had another show. So he had like a box of shirts that he made with the logo on it.
Gotta love
so
it.
He's the only one that wears them, I think.
That's so funny.
But I learned that it was really bad for your singing voice to scream if you didn't do it right. And I was like, I got to sing pretty songs. So since then, I don't even know the year I've been playing acoustic, unless I hired a band or whatever for bigger shows. But yeah. Thanks for the sweet interview, guys. Thanks for having me at your place.
Thanks for joining us in our basement.
That's Actually, that band, the Bro Hiram, got their name from Lord of the Rings. One of the armies is called the Rohirrim. And that band always, we were like naming things, like finding words. Crockett had a brocabulary, and it was a list of his pronunciations. So somebody randomly said, let's call it the Bro Hiram, and we're like, yeah.
That is awesome. That is brilliant.
And like, that's awesome, except for the first radio interview we did. Drew from The Edge was like, oh, I thought it was like a harem of bros, which is like, I was like, no, it's not that cool at all.
You get that wrong.
That's
All wrong
hilarious.
there.
But where can we find your music?
Right now, there's just a few kind of demo singles out.
Yeah.
But we're on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/official Moonshine. We have a Facebook page, and it's posted up on there. And then we're on Bandcamp as well. But that's it for right now. We're working on the first album, and it's almost done. So it'll be at more places after that.
Very good. How about, the Dull Drums? That's DULL, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
At one point in time, how many dull drum type names were there in Tulsa?
2.
And is this sensitive for you?
It's not sensitive because when you date things back through MySpace, we had the band name about 2 months before they. Granted, we couldn't play instruments and we couldn't play anything. We didn't have any songs. We still had the band name first.
It's spelled completely different.
Spelled differently.
So it's DULL, drums.
Yes.
And the other band is Dole, like DOL. DRUMS.
I always just assumed it was the same band being goofy and calling their name. We have twice as many fans and we have 2 MySpace pages.
There was a short stint where we were considering spelling it DOLE, such as the Fruit Company.
Oh my god.
The Dole Drums.
You guys and your ridiculous band names. Cucumber and the Suntans.
That's a pretty great name, I think.
Yeah, it is a great name. But didn't it come originally from Alan's mom?
Dole Drums did, yeah.
Yeah, the drummer's mom.
Always talking about it being a rainy day, and then Alan brought up the name, and we were like, yeah, that's a great name. And then he wrote it down. I was like, yeah, that looks great. We had no idea that we spelled it wrong. So,
oh my God. That's even better.
Wait, what's spelled wrong?
Doldrums.
They had spelled the doldrums.
Oh, it wasn't on purpose.
It wasn't on purpose.
They just didn't know how to spell.
My nickname in middle into maybe early high school was taken from an SNL, like a Saturday Night Live skit. And it had to be like maybe early middle school because I really wasn't into Saturday Night Live yet. And it was my older brother's 5 years older, and all his friends were really into Saturday Night Live. And there's a skit where Sean Connery is on it, or somebody, and Burt Reynolds. It's Sean Connery and Burt Reynolds. I don't know who the real actors are, but Burt Reynolds is like, my name's Turd Ferguson. And it's a really hilarious skit. I think you can search Burt Reynolds Turd Ferguson on YouTube. But
totally doing that later.
You can look it up. And so forever, all of his friends started calling me Turd Ferguson, and I just had to keep it. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. It's my older brother and his friends. Yeah, that's such a cool name. It's my older brother giving it to me.
Hell
but
yeah,
I always when I wrote it down, because there was like name tags I had to have in places, I would spell it T-E-R-D, and I'd be like, oh, it's not feces, it's different. It's a different kind of.
Oh my God!
It's not feces, it's fecal matter. It's way different.
Young mind, it made sense.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm still keeping that. So his sons now, my nephews call me Uncle Turd, and
oh man,
I'm just waiting for him to talk. I want to go pick him up at school one day, and Uncle Turd's here. I want to tell the teacher it's spelled T-E-R-D. It's different.
It's different.
I get to become an uncle in November. I'm very excited about that.
It's really cool. It's I mean, I don't have kids of my own, and don't
want
them. Yeah.
Certainly not in the near future, but it's really cool. It was really cool to me to meet somebody the first time and automatically love them a whole bunch. I'm sure it's awesome. Another level when it's your own kid, but like my brother's son, I was like, dang, I just met this dude and I love him a bunch.
Yeah, it's family.
I actually wrote a song about it that day, and you can get it on my album.
Awesome.
Let's throw that out there.
What's the album called?
It's the Unicorn Episode. The song is actually called Love at First Sight, and it's like a song to them, and I like it. It's like I think it's my favorite song.
Where's that available at?
Oh my
dude,
God,
you're such a good interviewer.
Okay,
since you're asking, Connor, it's on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon and wherever you can get music. Wherever.
That's Jason Ferguson. And the Unicorn Episode?
Yes,
the Unicorn Episode. Check that out.
Please buy it. I'll donate all of the funds to myself.
And unicorns.
A very worthy cause.
Save the Unicorns Project.
Rhinos.
Man, it just got so big. Well, obviously the unicorns are eating enough, so I'll just keep it.
Yep. We brought you a flyer, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
You can keep this.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. This is the flyer that our friend Greg drew, and every time I look at it, I find new things. Sorry, I keep going away from the mic.
So you can see the flyer, obviously, probably on the Facebook page, and it's a pretty sweet flyer.
Yeah.
So since you brought it to me, I own that.
Yes.
So now that's the background to all my future flyers.
Awesome. Great.
Thanks for the
It'll
rights.
be hidden forever. But it'll be here. It happened.
I did this.
And we'll have our lawyer call you.
Who was the artist though?
Greg Stivers.
Greg
with a G.
Greg. Well, he did a good job. And
yeah.
So
whaled it. Oh man.
So yeah, thank you guys for coming in and shooting the shit with me and talking about stuff.
Thanks for having us.
Is it just Facebook to find all the information / Tulsa Psych Fest?
Yep. That's about it. We don't have an official website. Maybe next year, but there is a Facebook page and there's an event page, Tulsa Psych Fest.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your fun stories, and I really do enjoy talking about unicorns and spaceships and Kane's chips.
Us too.
Fantastic.
And basements and
the first time, when I was touring this apartment, it was the first time I really knew there was basements here, and I was like, this is freaking sweet. It's like a hobbit hole. Yeah. And I was like, I'm getting that
for the Brohirum.
Yeah. There's been no Brohirums to date, but not ruling anything out.
But how long is the lease?
After party, Tulsa Psych Fest after party.
Everybody's like, all my shows, people ask me like, hey, can we have an after party at your place? Because it's pretty close to downtown. And I'm like, 4 of us can fit.
Yeah, exactly. 1 person per room.
Wait, who pissed in the closet?
No one was with you last night.
That's not spoken from experience.
That totally is that.
That may or may not have
That's
happened
probably
once.
true. What about the Doldrums? Is that Facebook website? Where can we hear your stuff?
Oh, we got the Facebook up there. I don't know what the URL is, but it's google.com/search engine. Intertext here, the Doldrums. And the doldrums.bandcamp.com is where you can stream our first album. There should be a second one popping up here soon. Yeah. And it's good.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for being here and telling me about Psych Fest. I'm really excited about it, and I can see you guys are too. And it'll be fun. So
can't thank you enough for having us today.
Dude, I'm
Definitely.
excited.
Thank you so
I'm glad
much.
to hang out with you.
Yeah.